Hey there, thinkers! Welcome back to Critical Hit. My name is Est, and well, hold on to your panties because it's finally official. Disney isn't just toast. No. They are a complete dumpster fire. I mean, for years, we've watched this once beloved entertainment giant spiral right into chaos. And now, the smoke is so thick you can't even see the castle anymore. And I've personally been covering Disney's messes for a little over a year now, and let me tell you, it's been like watching a slow motion car crash, except the driver just keeps doubling down on very bad decisions. So here's the latest. A recent survey confirms what we've all suspected. Disney has managed to alienate over 30% of their audience, thanks to their relentless embrace of identity politics and divisive messaging. That's 30%. That's not just a dent, that's a gaping hole in the ship. And instead of, patching it up, Disney just seems determined to hammer more holes into the hull. Smart. Just really think about it. This is the same company that once brought people together, that once defined magic and imagination for generations. Now they're better known for starting Twitter wars or pushing agendas that nobody asked for. Like, they bet their entire empire on being woke, and it turns out that gamble is losing them viewers, dollars, and any shred of goodwill that they had left. If you need a visual, picture Mickey Mouse running around with a fire extinguisher while the entire park is engulfed in flames. That's Disney in 2025, burnt down to a crisp, with no sign of recovery. And if this isn't the textbook definition of cooked, I honestly don't know what is. However, I have a few things to say here, but before I do, we have a small request. If you are new here, consider hitting the subscribe button, smash that like, and ring the bell to be notified for our next video. We would greatly appreciate this, since this will help us appease those YouTube algorithm gods. So we thank you. Now let me give you our thoughts on this, and let's get into this article from That Park Place. Oh, Disney, you absolute geniuses. In the grand pursuit of their diversity, equity, and inclusion utopia, they've somehow managed to alienate over 30% of their audience. That sounds pretty inclusive to me. Because that's not just a small drop in the bucket. No. That's a full-on exodus. And why? Because they decided to shove divisive identity politics into every corner of their damn brand. Gone are the days when Disney was about timeless stories and magical experiences for the whole family. Now it's all about ticking the DEI checkboxes, no matter how much it pisses the people off who used to support them. The funniest part here is that it's not just some vocal minority calling them out. No. Even the normies, the everyday families who once loved Disney, have had enough. Like, I know plenty of them personally, and let me tell you, these aren't the type to get riled up over internet debates. It just took some steady stream of questionable decisions, ignored concerns, and an unmistakable shift from what made Disney special to completely turn them off. Like, these are people who just wanted good stories and fun for their kids, not lectures wrapped in a corporate rainbow. And if the normies are jumping ship, imagine how everyone else feels. DEI might have been a pitch as the future of inclusivity, but for Disney, it's turning out to be the reason they're losing their grip on the audience that built their empire. Like, congrats, Disney. Like, you've truly redefined what it means to, well, go off the rails. Here we go. Hold on to your panties because the Rasmussen reports just dropped a truth bomb that Disney probably didn't want you to see. Turns out that their full-on sprint into divisive identity politics and tossing traditional family values out the window isn't exactly the box office goldmine that they were hoping for. According to a survey from January 5th to the 7th of 2025, a spicy 23% of 1,408 American adults straight up admitted they've been dodging Disney movies like the plague this past year because of the company's political vibes. Now, toss in another 9% who couldn't make up their minds, and you're actually looking at a whopping 32% of the audience potentially piecing out. Wow. I mean, come on, Disney must be ecstatic about this one. A whole 68% of respondents haven't actively avoided their movies. What a glowing success story. That's practically a gold star in the bare minimum category. But let's not get too distracted by the surface level optimism, okay? Because when you actually scale that remaining 32% who are steering clear to Disney's whopping 157 million subscribers across Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, We're looking at a staggering 51.8 million people who've essentially decided, yeah, no thanks, we'll pass. And why? Politics. Because clearly nothing screams family-friendly escapism quite like alienating a chunk of your audience with divisive messaging. But no worries, Disney can probably patch that hole with, pixie dust and nostalgia, right? Or maybe they'll just slap another sequel or a remake onto the pile and, well, hope for the best. Meanwhile, those 51.8 million people are out there spending their money, well, somewhere else. But hey, who needs tens of millions of paying customers when you can just double down on virtue signaling and a steady stream of PR spins, right? So keep dreaming that dream, Disney. But let's be real here, because Disney Plus's subscriber numbers are padded just like every other streaming service playing the game. They slap Disney Plus onto bundles with stuff people actually want. So you didn't ask for Disney Plus, but surprise, it came with your cable package or something useful. Like those 157 million subscribers probably include a ton of freebies or heavily discounted plans. And honestly, I wouldn't blink if a third of them aren't even paying full price. And even knowing that, a potential 32% audience loss is actually really mind-blowing. It's gross, really. Like, any other company would be setting off alarm bells, but Disney? Nah, they've got that too big to fail attitude. As long as the remaining 60% are cool with the virtue signaling, or just don't care enough to cancel, then they're good. So, classic Disney. Oh, Disney, you really outdid yourself this time. So if we're looking at the average US movie ticket price of, well, $10.70 in 2024, it turns out that the 51.8 million viewers you managed to alienate translates to a neat 558 million loss in ticket sales. But hold up. If we're talking about premium formats like IMAX, Dolby, 4DX, or 3D, you can bet that number's looking a lot more uglier. Let's not even get started how much more money you could have pulled in from repeat viewings or those sweet merchandise sales tied to blockbuster films. Oh, and we're only talking about the 51.8 million that we know about. Disney's potential audience is way bigger than this small fraction of a supposedly loyal fan base that you've managed to just shove away. Like, these numbers aren't just bad, they're catastrophic. But of course, instead of embracing the wholesome, family-friendly reputation that once made you the undisputed king of entertainment, you've pivoted to this politically charged, identity-driven narrative that has more people rolling their eyes than reaching for their wallets. Once upon a time, people loved your content because it was a break from the noise and a little escape into a world where everyone could find something to enjoy, no matter their background or beliefs. Now, it's a case of alienating anyone who doesn't subscribe to your latest ideological crusade. And let's talk about your so-called inclusive strategies, shall we? Sure, you've gained a small group of people who are so thrilled to see their particular viewpoint showcased. But in doing so, you've left behind the vast majority who just want to watch a movie without a heavy-handed agenda shoved down their throats. And the true irony here is that this all started with you marketing yourself as the Disney Magic, a place where family values and entertainment went hand in hand. And, well, that magic is now a distant memory, and the aftermath is looking like a serious case of brand suicide. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't just a bad decision, it's a financial disaster. You might want to take a good hard look at your decision, Disney, because the path that you're on isn't leading to a happily ever after. It's leading straight to the poorhouse. So keep pushing that agenda, though. Maybe next time you can make a movie about how to alienate your audience and tank your revenue at the same time. I'm pretty sure that Disney is absolutely playing the long game, and not the fun one, or the magical one. Like, they know exactly what they're doing, and honestly, it's kind of impressive how they're just flipping their entire brand on its head. Like, for decades, families have been their bread and butter, especially at their theme parks. You know, those nostalgic, wholesome memories people made with their kids, and the kind that made Disney the powerhouse it is today. But now, instead of sticking to with what worked, Disney decided to go full throttle into identity politics. Why? Because why not abandon the very audience that put you right on the map, right? You know, the older generations, the ones who actually grew up with Disney and have continued to support it for years. Yeah, they're not the focus anymore. Instead, Disney's going all in on re-educating the current generation of kids. They're shifting the narrative to serve up a brand new version of Disney, one where divisive identity politics are front and center, and virtue signaling is as common as Mickey ears. The goal? To reshape the entire audience for the future, one indoctrinated child at a time. So who cares if it alienates the loyal fans that spent years making Disney what it is today? They're banking on creating a brand new customer base that's all about that shiny new politically correct Disney, with a healthy dose of "we're so woke, look at us" thrown in for good measure. Because seriously, Disney, A+ for completely sidelining the people who actually cared about you for the past few freaking decades. So of course Disney is the masters of alienating their audience, one politically charged decision at a time. And the survey breaks down the audience demographics in the most predictable way, showcasing that 47% of respondents are men and 53% are women. So congrats Disney, you're practically shattering gender norms by being exactly what we expect. But wait, let's get into the juicy stuff here. The political divide, a whopping 34% of respondents are waving the Democratic flag, and 29% are repping the Republicans, and a solid 37% are keeping their distance from the party lines. Like they're not even touching that mess. But here is where it gets really spicy. So the survey shows that 28% of the men who avoided Disney because of its politics have had enough, while only 19% of the women are tapping out. In other words, it's the men who are really driving the no thanks train when it comes to Disney's increasingly left-leaning agenda. So all those attempts to make a statement with their woke content, yeah, well, it's doing wonders, just not in the kind of way that they were hoping for. Republicans and independents, well, they're the ones leading the charge against Disney, making it clear that they'd rather not have their entertainment spoon-fed with a side of political messaging. So keep it up, Disney. You're really earning that reputation. This really shouldn't be a surprise because Disney is clearly spiraling. I mean, who didn't see that coming, right? Like, they're still big enough to survive a 30% loss, but let's be honest, this is only the beginning of their downward slide. The DEI wave that they've been riding is starting to crash, and as that pendulum swings back, they're going to be left scrambling. And you just know when the pressure mounts and their hands are held to the fire, they're going to fold in the most spectacular, clueless way possible. But the real question is, will they manage to save themselves, or are they just destined to become another corporate casualty that didn't evolve with the times? So it's not looking that great for them, is it? However, those are my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And hey, before you go, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and ring the bell to be notified for our next video. As always, this is Est, and I'm signing off now. So I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!